Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the S.H.Figuarts Turles, also known as Turles, from the Dragon Ball Z movie Tree of Might. Now, it's been a while since I've seen the Tree of Might, but all of the old Dragon Ball Z movies hold a special place in my heart, even though they're pretty much all non-canon. I mean, I think they are all non-canon because Bardock and Trunks are technically OVAs, but they're still special in their own way, because I used to watch them all the time during school holidays and things, and used to have so many fan theories about why Turles looks the way he does, or where these fit in the timeline, and it's just fun. It reminds me of my childhood. And the movies being as insignificant as they are, let's face it, they're still a fun time. And for the time, they were pretty well animated as well. But out of all of the movies, there were sort of two that stood out a lot, and there's a reason why that we still talk about them now. And one of them is The Tree of Might, and the other one are both Cooler movies. I'm sort of counting them as one because they sort of both follow onto each other. But both of those movies, Turles and Cooler, were very important villains because they were sort of informed by the main narrative, but were non-canon, and could easily be actual canon characters. They just aren't, but they're used constantly in a lot of the extra media, like Xenoverse 2 used a lot of the movie characters quite a bit, which was very cool. And we start seeing figures of these characters quite a bit now, actually, because Turles and Cooler both got several Ichiban Kuji figures, mainly Cooler, but Turles got a Ichiban Kuji figure last year, and now S.H.Figuarts, which is very cool as well. And you can see the box looks very nice. It's the simple S.H.Figuarts Dragon Ball style, which is just window into the figure, as well as a main promo image on the side. And it's a nice looking promo image because it's got Turles with his cloak holding the fruit from the Tree of Might, which, as it stands just there, that's almost enough that you need, because there are only a few accessories you really need for Turles, and this figure sort of needs to come with all of them because the chances of us getting another figure like this are incredibly slim, so might as well knock it out of the park right now. So there's the main window, like I said. On the side there are the comic book panels, and this is a chunky box, so the panels are quite large. On the back there are a bunch of different promo images showcasing all the accessories you get with this figure, because there are quite a bit. And on the other end is a clear window with his name in small print, which is kind of funny, and just says Turles, which is the Japanese name. And then on the bottom is one more promo image, and it looks good. Opening up the box, it completes that main promo image on the side, and because this is a bigger box, that image looks way better now. And it's just a very striking box. And taking Turles out of the box, you can see he's actually packing quite a bit, but he's missing something. So if you go and pull out the leaflet in the back, there's all his alternate hands and his special effect piece. I think it's the Kill Driver. Correct me if I'm wrong. And now this package is complete. So taken out of the box and up on a rotating display, just with his cloak on, Turles looks fantastic. There is a bit of a gloss coat going on with his cloak, but I think it works quite well, and in the right lighting it does look quite natural. But this figure is chunky and imposing, and an incredible sort of stylistic change for traditional Dragon Ball, just because we're used to bright colors, and Turles is quite a dark looking character, so the white cloak really does break it up quite well. And all of the details on this figure look fantastic. The shape of his hair is different to Goku's. The molding of his armor is slightly different to like Nappa's and Vegeta's. The cloak is a cloak. It's completely different to other cloaks. It's not like Piccolo's. It's not like Gohan's that came with the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. His Scouter looks nice. It's a beautiful color. And all of the faces are beautifully detailed. I didn't really notice any paint errors on my figure. There is a little bit of paint, like compared to other S.H.Figuarts, due to like the Saiyan armor. There's more paint apps than normal. So there's the faces, a lot of the armor details, his gauntlets, and all of his hands. They just all look good. The fruit from the Tree of Might as well. But taking the cloak off Turles, you can see the more symmetrical design of the figure and how clean and nice it looks. So before we get any further, I'll do a quick size comparison. So here's Turles next to the HG Gundam Ariel. Ariel Gundam is about a 1/144 scale model kit and sits around the same height as a traditional S.H.Figuarts or Figma. Here he is next to the WCF Nico Robin, so just a minifigure. And here he is next to the Saiyan Raised on Earth Goku 2.0. And you can see they stand just a little bit taller than Goku, which I think is fairly accurate. I think they're just about the same, but Turles is noticeably bulkier, which is accurate. So we'll do articulation. So he's got a ball joint at the neck and head, which allows for pretty good articulation. His arm can move out this far, but you can move his shoulder armor out of the way to access more of the arm. So there's a ball joint at the base of the arm, there's a swivel in the upper arm, double bend at the elbow, there's a ball hinge at the wrist, and a butterfly in the chest. And you can sort of reconfigure the shoulder armor in different ways because it is on a sort of ball peg in the back, and you can sort of try and get it to sit naturally. There are quite a few gaps depending on the pose, but I think it was an admirable effort to try and cover it up. There's a ball joint at the upper chest which allows for an arcing back as well as a side to side, so he can look up that far and down that far, which is pretty good, not the best, but not too bad. His skirt can move out to the side and front so it doesn't get in the way of his legs. He can kick forward that far and back not really at all, which is it's a little bit of a shame. He can do a pretty good splits, all things considered, especially with the armor. And there's a double bend at the knees. And a ball joint at the foot, which is a little bit restrictive, and a toe bend. So you can get a decent amount of posability out of him. Introducing a flight stand is definitely recommended. But he's pretty damn solid for what he is. Turles comes with 4 faces, so he's got the standard smirk out of the box. He's got a teeth-gritted angry face. He's got an open mouth shouting face and a weird looking tongue out biting face. It looks really good with the fruit from the Tree of Might and looks kind of weird in any other context. So he comes with the fruit from the Tree of Might with a right hand. It is permanently attached to that hand, so you can't really swap it for other figures. But that's fine. It's his accessory and it works well. And you can get some really good neutral poses with just the fruit. It's pretty simple and I quite like that. But with the other faces you can get some really nice poses. The folded arms accessory is one of the better ones that I've come across actually, and I think that's because the pegs were fairly easy to put in, and his arms being more based on the sort of 3.0 sculpt, it was easy to move them around, so I could pop out the pegs and pop in the folded arms, and the shoulders didn't really get in the way. It does break the sculpt a little bit, but it's fine. And yeah, you can get him into some pretty good dynamic poses, but I think the coolest accessory out of them is his effect part. So this is mostly like a clear plastic part, painted up quite nicely actually. And it's got a sort of plug on the back, and you're given these 2 clear rods. There's one at an angle and one straight, and you're given 2 hands with holes in them. And you can use these clear parts in different hands to sort of change how this effect part works for Turles. So you can have a sort of seamless looking sculpt of him charging his effect part, because it's sort of out from his hand and at an angle, so it looks like it's in between his hands and charged up, which is very cool. And you can also hide the rod in between one of those sort of like electric bolts coming out, which is really, really nice. I like that. And then the other peg is just for straight ahead, and you can put it in one of his hands, or even both really if you wanted to. But I just put it in one hand just to make it look like he's shooting it out. And it's just nice. It's not the craziest figure out there, but you can get some really, really nice posing out of it. And all of the accessories just make it the total package. It is definitely one of the most satisfying releases from S.H.Figuarts, especially when some of the more standard releases come with basically nothing, and this Premium Bandai one genuinely feels premium, and that's nice. For like actual issues with the figure, I didn't really find any paint errors at all. Everything is clean. All of the faces are clean as well. I'd say the only real issue is that there is a noticeable color difference between like the bare plastic and sort of more painted plastic. So his knee joints look a completely different shade to the rest of his legs, and I believe that's also the same for his neck. Doesn't really hurt the figure at all. It's just something that you might notice. But other than that, the figure is pretty damn near perfect, and I very much enjoyed playing around with it. So if you get a chance and you love the Tree of Might, or just like, say, an armor figures or unique figures in general, I would highly recommend the Turles. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.